Others in prison only get plain buns and pickled vegetables, but Tony gets to eat top-tier hot pot, with lobster and lamb, and even a 10-year-old soft-shell turtle. Seeing all these delicacies, every prisoner is tempted, but no one envies his treatment, because this is his last meal before death, the legendary death row dinner. Since the prison guard is Tony's best buddy, he spent 2 months' salary to prepare such a feast. But when it comes to the execution, Tony claims he's been wrongly accused. Turns out he traveled through time. In his past life he was obsessed with fishing, until one cast hit a power line, and he got electrocuted to the point of smoking. Next time he opened his eyes, he found himself in the body of a death row inmate. The original guy was a grad student, who saw his biological mother getting beaten and humiliated by 5 rich kids. He lost control and grabbed a brick, killing 4 and injuring 1. He was charged with intentional homicide, and sentenced to immediate execution. Tony never expected to face death right after crossing over. Even worse, it was supposed to be lethal injection, but the injection van broke down, so they switched to firing squad. Soon he was escorted to the execution ground. After verifying his identity, dozens of shooters loaded their guns, as Tony closed his eyes waiting to die. Suddenly, a system for reducing sentence through merit popped up. It detected his urgent situation, and immediately gave him a beginner's gift pack, but the system lagged out of nowhere, asking him to wait patiently. Meanwhile, the officers had already started the 5-second countdown. Thinking fast, Tony said his back was itchy, and begged for one last scratch before dying comfortably. After some desperate pleading, one of the shooters scratched his back, but it didn't buy him much time. The officers raised their guns again. At the critical moment, the system finally finished loading, and gave Tony a research package on controllable nuclear fusion. Just as the shooters were about to pull the trigger, Tony suddenly shouted, claiming he had a major invention that could solve the world's energy needs, and bring total national dominance. His words stunned everyone, because if it were true, he could be spared the death penalty. To give him a chance to prove himself, the officers decided to call in Tony's academic advisor. Since average people wouldn't understand such a complex topic, the advisor had no idea what was going on, and freaked out on the spot. But after learning the details, and hearing Tony say it was about controllable fusion in a hydrogen bomb, he was so shocked he kept backing away, only to be pushed back at gunpoint by the shooters. The advisor instantly changed his tone, and started praising Tony like crazy. Tony said it was a state secret, and everyone had to clear the room. For the sake of this breakthrough, the judge gave them 10 minutes, and ordered everyone else to leave. Tony passionately explained everything to the advisor, and time flew by. But to his shock, the advisor said he didn't understand a word. Tony was dumbfounded, and the judge felt like he'd been tricked. What they didn't know was that the advisor wasn't in that field at all. Tony quickly begged him for help, and the advisor contacted a top expert in nuclear energy. But the professor was in the hospital in critical condition. His son picked up the phone, and when he heard the topic, he remembered it was his dad's lifelong regret. His father only had 1 hour left to live, so the son rushed into the ward, put the phone to his dad's ear, and told Tony to spill everything to survive. Tony went on and on for over 10 minutes, but just as he finished, the call suddenly disconnected.